Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to a very special episode of the Fightersrep podcast. Episode 50, Gary.
Yeah.
Episode 50, big dog. And today we're going
Hey,
to be
we
talking
doing it.
about, we're doing it, man. Today we're going to be talking about Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. We keep getting teased about this fight, Gary. They keep saying it's made, then they say it's fake news, then they say it's going to happen, it's in negotiations, whatever, man. For me, listen, where there's smoke, Gary, there's fire, baby. And so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm taking it as this shit is happening. It's just a matter of time. It looks like it'll be in November, right before Christmas, which would be, I think, a good time for the fight. Um, and yeah, I mean that's what we're hearing right now. What are your thoughts? Do you kind of have the same feeling? Because I'm just feeling like it's probably going to happen. Because who else is left out there for these guys? I mean, there's a couple guys, but I mean, this is the fight. This is the one everybody should want to see.
I think it's going to happen, but I think might be one more fight before it happens because I think
Mm,
Shakur is ready for it to happen now. Because
yeah,
obviously, I think Shakur is itching to like get that spot. Javante Tank Davis, he's kind of like I think he kind of wants like he wanted to fight Lomachenko first because he wants to get that money, get that bag. And I think he thinks that Shakur is going to be his most difficult fight. So I think he's trying to line it up and then fight, the almost like in the video game, the boss character at the end.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
they're thinking, like you said, because there's not too many people out there left. I mean, you got Pitbull, but they already said he doesn't really want to do that again
and
right now.
he's got what's his name up next?
Zapata. Well, I don't know who's
Zepeda?
next.
Is it Zepeda?
Yeah, well, Shakur, if he doesn't fight Tank, I know he's trying to fight Zapata, but I think they said they're going to give
What's the
that to
what's the
Keyshawn.
kid? What's the kid? What's the kid he's fighting now? We just talked about it on the last show. Man, I'm
Oh,
so
Tank?
no Pitbull. He's fighting on the Madrimov card.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Valenzuela? Is it Valenzuela? It's Valenzuela, right?
I can't. I'm going blank. I think it is
Yeah, I
him.
think it's Valenzuela, bro. Listen, guys, don't get mad at us. We were talking before this damn thing started. It's so damn hot down here. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what day it is. I don't know nothing, bro. It's that hot down here. If your AC blows out right now in Miami or South Florida, bro, just call the
George,
ambulance, bro.
I'm
It's
dealing
over
with
for
that right
you.
now. I'm dealing with that. I was on
Nah,
the phone with the AC guy right now.
no, but that AC guy needs to come over right now because it's too hot for that,
You tell
bro.
him.
But yeah, no, I want to say his name's Valenzuela. The guy that
Yeah, I have it in
Pitbull's
front of
fighting,
me. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so. But in November, that's enough time. But and I know Pitbull wants that fight again. But from what I was hearing, that's not really the fight that Tank's looking for right now, and he's not
yeah,
interested in going to 140 right now. That's from what I'm hearing on
yeah.
from everybody reporting. So I don't know. I mean, I think he is almost like he's almost forced to fight Shakur now because
Didn't the
what else is
Lomachenko
there?
didn't the but the Lomachenko thing fell through, man. I don't think Lomachenko's gonna happen.
I know it's not, but I thought that, but Tank had a plan and Lomachenko threw a monkey wrench in it. I
Yeah,
think Tank had a clear plan of how he wanted to go about fighting because he said he had 6 fights left or whatever, and he has
yeah,
he had people on his list that he wanted to fight, and I think
yeah,
Lomachenko was one of them because he knows that's a big money fight, a big fight because Lomachenko has a lot of fans, and I
yeah.
just think that threw a monkey wrench in his plans.
I think Lomachenko. I mean, it's a good fight, but Lomachenko's a bit long in the tooth. I think the big fight is the Shakur Tank fight right now. I think that's a big fight. I would also love to see. You know what? I would also love to see a Teofimo Lopez fight versus Tank. I think that'd be a fun fight.
I don't think it's happening though.
Yeah,
And let me
yeah,
just say
yeah.
this for a
But
second.
yeah,
Let me just say this for a second.
I feel like even though your AC's not working, you're a lot more clear headed than me right now, bro.
Man, I've been in the sun working all day, man.
Uh,
Hey, and then I brought since the when the AC go out, we gotta go buy everything. I brought like industrial fans. I brought everything. I'm looking at air. I'm like,
damn,
should I
man.
buy this right now, man? That's how
The
bad it
little,
is.
the little, the little R2D2 unit that cools the
Yeah,
room. You seen
yeah, man.
that?
I'm looking at everything, man. It's Miami. We cannot have no AC. It's like AC was working fine. The summer comes. I tell people the sun is like Debo. The sun is like Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Just beating up on everybody. Just beating up
It
on my
is.
AC.
It is. It is.
But
It is.
what I was gonna say is that's what I'm saying. I do think the Shakur Stevenson fight is the bigger fight, but not
Yeah.
by much. I think even though a lot of people saying Lomachenko is a little bit long in the tooth, a lot of
Hmm.
people are going to tune in. Even if you
Oh
believe
yeah.
he's going to knock
Everybody's tuning in.
Lomachenko out, you never
Everybody's
know with
tuning
a
in.
guy like Lomachenko who is as
Yeah.
seasoned as he was in the amateurs, and then come up in the pros and become a phenomenon. He's always just like Pacquiao. Pacquiao comes back and fight Mario Barrios. People are going to watch that, even though
Yeah.
Pacquiao is like 100 years old. So
Yeah. For real. I feel like Lomachenko is a really good stylistic, like, is a tough stylistic matchup for Tank. You know what I mean? Because he's so much of a boxer and a technician. Like, he might be able to make it through the fight without getting clipped. You know what I mean? And,
yeah,
and I feel like if somebody can just get through the fight with Tank, if they can outbox him by a little bit, which Lomachenko has the ability to do, and if he's able to get through without getting clipped out, then he could win that fight. You know what I
well,
mean? He could win that
well,
fight.
well, well. Here's the thing: is Lomachenko runs into the same problem that Tank runs into, and people don't talk about that enough. When Lomachenko fought Tio, he took the back half of the fight, but the first half of the fight
It's true.
mostly with the Tio. Same thing with
Yeah.
Devin Haney. The early half of the fight, Devin Haney kind of took those rounds, and Lomachenko came in on the back end, and so that's where he's been burnt lately. Is that
Yeah.
he's been coming in on the back end, and he has to catch up. Now Tank does it, but Tank does it, he knocks you out. So I don't care what the scorecards are saying
Right.
right now.
But you bring up a good point because again, I talked about it being a tough stylistic matchup. I mean, if Tank is real slow in the early going too, right? He's downloading the
Yeah,
information, and Loma's kind of the same way. If Loma, even if he does that against Tank, where he just comes on stronger as the fight goes on, if he's able to get through those first rounds and maybe just nick them, if he could just nick those rounds, with a little bit of boxing, which he definitely can. I think it's a tough fight. The only thing is, he's slipping a little bit, if we're being honest. He's slipped a little bit. And has he slipped enough to where he's not going to be able to get out the way of one of those big old,
bomb.
bombs that
What
Tank
you call a tank?
fires?
What you call a tank? It is.
The Gervonta tank. It's the
Yeah, yeah,
Gervonta, not the Abrams tank. It's a Gervonta tank, brother.
he get it in one of those missiles, huh? You don't think he's fast enough
Yeah,
to get
man.
out the way of those missiles, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you never know. But I just feel like Tank is another guy that picks the pace as the fight goes on. So maybe, I mean, if Lomachenko still has enough in his legs,
Yeah. I
in his
mean,
body,
I think Tank would be more aggressive against Lomachenko only because
yeah,
Lomachenko is a small guy coming up to he's been to 135 for a while, but he came up to 135. And we've seen
yeah,
that,
yeah,
he's not a big guy at 135. Really probably the
yeah,
best at 130, but he can fight he's great enough that he can fight at 135 like he's been doing. And I think Tank is more so willing to engage with him. Like I think walk him down, not as long as Frank Martin. He is a
yeah,
Devin Haney. He's not, he's a smaller guy, and he doesn't have that one shot power to knock you out. He beats people by accumulation of punches. So I think
yeah,
Tank is going to be more willing to press him, walk him down, and try to get him up out of there. You know, so I do think it'll be an exciting fight if it lasts. I do think
Yeah.
Lomachenko can make it last because he's man, when you're that high level of a boxer, you know how to last. You know how to make a fight. It ain't easy to knock you out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think he might be, besides Shakur, that's the toughest matchup, I think, stylistically, maybe for Gervonta, because I've always said it, and you could disagree or agree, I'm not sure, but I've always said I think the way you beat Tank is you got to outbox him and just make it through. Just get through, because he's going to give up
I kind of
so many
disagree.
rounds. He's going to give up. I think he's going to give up enough rounds that if you could slightly outbox him, I think that's the easiest way to beat him, right? If you could just beat him on points.
I disagree because if you think you just sit there and box with him all day and not have exchanges, not have to back him up, not have to earn his respect, and just outbox him, it's gonna have to be a fighter that can stand in the pocket a little bit, that can mix it up a little bit, not mixing up like trading shots, not mixing up trading shots, but mix it up
Yeah, you're not gonna want to do that too much.
Being defensively sound, mix it up, and then also
Yeah.
box at times. I think you have to be able to do both, and I don't because he can do both, and you're not gonna just run around from him for forever because he knows how and get his shots when he wants it, and you got to be the same way. You got to be that guy, almost like I mean, type of guy. Terrence Crawford knows when he knows when to mix it, and he knows how to keep his distance. And that's what I like. You gotta be a type of guy that can do both. You can't just do one. Thinking you're gonna just outbox him, like he says, all that boxing, get hit eventually. That's what they all that boxing, you go get hit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
I just, but that would be my strategy, right? That would be my strategy. Unless I was like a knockout artist and I felt like I could clip him out of there, my strategy would be like, let me try to get ahead at the beginning of the fight, first 5, 6 rounds, right? And I didn't think Frank Martin did a bad job. Like I thought Frank Martin, especially in those first 3 rounds, you know what I mean? Gary, can you hear me?
You try to do too much. Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
Okay.
But I can still hear you. But
I felt
I
like.
think
Go
ahead. Well,
I was saying I think Frank Martin, those first 3 rounds, especially maybe even through 4, was doing a pretty good job. But he just, like you mentioned, he didn't have anything to earn Tank Davis's respect, man. His power just wasn't there. And so yeah, I mean, you are going to need to stand in the pocket a little bit, hit him with something to make him think twice. You know what I mean? It's almost like everybody he deals with, he's walking them down eventually. A couple guys, he's able to run them into things, which is amazing too. Like what he did with Rolly. I felt, also, he kind of finished Santa Cruz with a counter shot. But a lot of these guys, he's walking them down, man. But it was impressive to me. Can you hear me?
yeah, I got you. We broke up a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying what's impressive to me is his ability to like win the fight in so many different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. My thing is that Frank didn't do bad at the beginning, but it was a plan that could not work for the long run of the fight, and
Well,
that's why I said
it could have. I
it's
think
not
it
about
could have. I think it could have, but he just
not
doesn't
for
have
him.
enough power. He doesn't have enough power.
No. He had power because Tank said he can hit a little bit. He can hit, but it's not about power. It's about when I say like you have to. Eventually, you can't just keep moving and moving and moving. That was a strategy that could not work unless you're just a fighter. That's your natural thing. You can't just keep moving and moving. At times, you have to take a break. At times, you have to stand in the ring and show him, I'm not going to just keep moving, tap, 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 but you have to do it responsibly. Not in the corner like Frank did, but in the middle of the ring. He's coming, like Shakur did, or just like, some boxers do sometimes. You mix it up a little bit, but not go crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like you got to know when to do it a little bit, then get out, when to box a little bit. You got to mix it up because running around the ring, trying to run around the ring forever is not going to work. I thought Mario Barrios was doing a great job of mixing
Yeah, he
it up
didn't
with
do a
him
bad job.
sometimes. Yeah,
He
mixing it
didn't
up
do a
with him
bad job.
sometimes. It's just that he probably mixed it up too much with him, and he started mixing it up too much. It gotta be a balance because Tank is
Yeah,
a
I know.
balanced guy. Tank is a balanced guy. He can do a little bit of both. Like Tank said, he said Ryan might could have got me if he was a little bit patient. Ryan went
Yeah,
in there guns a blazing. He said, I seen
yeah,
Ryan can crack. He just same thing with Rolly. Rolly just one way, aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Eventually Tank is gonna be like, okay, I see what this is.
yeah,
This is what I'm
yeah,
gonna do. So that's why I said you have to have multiple, and that's the way Mayweather used to beat guys because Mayweather is gonna not fight you the whole way 12 rounds. He's gonna adapt. He's gonna do different things. He starts learning. Sugar Shane hit Floyd with them two big bombs. You're not gonna get those anymore. I used to always say, if
yeah,
you're beating Floyd, you got to beat him early. If you get it late, he's gonna figure it out, and you're gonna be in a hell of a
yeah,
lot of trouble.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess Tank Davis is kind of similar to that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of similar to that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I still think you gotta outbox him. You gotta have power. You gotta be able to last through the fight. I mean, I don't know, unless there's someone that can knock him out, which I don't see happening. I don't see
I'm just
anyone
saying,
knocking
being a
him out.
smart fighter, being a smart fighter that can do multiple things. That's my view.
And Shakur, right? So I mean, let's kind of get right down to it. If this fight happens in November, I mean, Shakur is a guy who he has the ability to outbox Tank, right? He has the ability to outbox Tank, but I don't think he has the ability to hurt him really, and
Uh,
that's what worries me for Shakur in this fight is he might be able to like move around and outbox Tank for portions of the fight. But at some point, you know, if they have an exchange, which I think they're going to have to, otherwise Tank's just going to keep walking him down. But that's all Tank. I think Tank's going to walk him down, put a lot of pressure on him. You know, at least at some point in the fight. I think if he does that and Shakur can't hit him with anything to earn Tank's respect, Shakur will be in trouble later on in the
I,
fight.
I I mean, I don't think you have to hit him with something that's so hard that he's like, oh. I think you stick that jab out there, and you keep that jab, hitting them in the face. I'm serious.
Get
Like that's
this,
what, and you can.
get this little gremlin off of me, man. That's what I'll be thinking,
Yes,
man. Get this
because
fucking guy
I don't
away.
I don't I don't care what you say. You say people don't have power and everything. You keep getting hit with a jab in the face, it's gonna get annoying. You're going to get, you know, some
Yeah,
swelling
yeah,
eventually. If you keep, I don't think Tank is gonna keep getting hit with a jab, and you can't just keep throwing it
yeah.
out there like what's his name did off the ropes and got hit with an uppercut. Because he's gonna
Santa
time it
Cruz. Yeah,
eventually.
you can't
Yeah,
you can't spam it. You can't spam it.
Yeah, you can't do that, but you got to be a good enough fighter that it annoys him, it gets in his way, control him, keep him, move him, boom, pick your times to hit your shots, and then like I said, Shakur can stop moving around sometimes because he has shown that he can stop, stand, and boom
Yeah,
boom, be defensive sound and give yourself a break. Hit. I'm not suggesting to stay there the whole fight, but you're gonna
yeah,
have to do that. You're gonna have to be able to do that in spurts. Stand, and not move around in spurts, just to give yourself your legs some wheels and everything. And I think Shakur is a high enough level boxer that he can do that in spurts and not all the time, and be able to get away with it, unlike these other dudes, because he's so defensively sound with that. But
now
I
you. hmm
go ahead, go.
Well, I was gonna say now. You know, I know where you're going with this. All right, I know where you're going. I know you think Shakur is gonna win. I don't expect you to have changed your mind yet, although I don't know. Maybe you have. But I know you got Shakur by decision, I believe, right? If him and Tank
Yeah,
fight.
Yeah.
You have Shakur by decision, to the disdain of many viewers of this channel who called you out in the comment section.
People like people act like people act like. Let me just say this in the comment section. People people act like they're like he's crazy. Like this is just some bum on the street that's way absurd. That this could never happen. These
Yeah,
are two best in that division. Let's just
I
cut it plain and
agree.
simple.
Yeah,
Two best in that division. I'm not saying he washes Tank. I'm not saying Tank has no chance against him. Because anybody who
yeah,
says I disagree, like you said, I pick Tank. I'm not gonna look at you like I'm crazy. I'm like, hey, shit, it could
yeah,
happen. I mean, Tank could sleep him. Tank could beat him.
yeah,
Tank could outbox him. Is that close of a fight that I'm picking who I pick because I'm like, you know what? I think Shakur is that dude too, and I think
yeah,
Shakur is a good enough dude that because I'm always into the boxer, the box, and Tank is a
yeah.
boxer too. That's why it's hard for me. He's a boxer puncher. You know what I mean? So he
I
can do
know, I
both.
know.
So it's kind of like, I'm not. People acting like I'm just saying, oh, like how they are. Oh, he's gonna wash Shakur. He's gonna show you that Shakur is nothing and this, that, like, oh, really? Shakur is nothing.
Yeah, I
Like he's
don't
just
think
a
so.
bum.
Yeah,
Like that is
yeah, I don't
crazy to
think
me
so.
that people talk that reckless about a top tier boxer. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
know,
don't
I
know, man.
know. It's still, I'm still, listen, even me, I'm still of the position where, I feel like if, I mean, I still feel like Shakur can win, right? I still feel like my mind is telling me Shakur, but like my heart's telling me Tank, you know what I mean? But, I could definitely see Shakur winning this fight like by a decision, but I could also see Tank winning by maybe
Knockout.
by a knockout. I
Exactly.
just think it's going to be hard unless Tank is. I mean, how do you think he fights this fight? So that's what I'll ask you next. First, how do you think Shakur wins this fight? In your opinion, how like you obviously see Shakur winning this fight. How does it play out in your mind here?
Like I said, I have Shakur maybe the first few rounds filling it out. I would say try to steal some of the first few rounds where Tank is also trying to fill you out, but not like steal it like going crazy, but just pop your jab out there, up, down, hit him with a couple jabs, hit him with, move around, kind of fill him out. Don't go toe to toe right away with him or whatever.
Yeah,
Just stick a jab, keep your movement, let him start trying to figure you out, download information, and just pot shot him. One or two shots at a time, you know what I mean? And still like the first two or three. As Tank starts
yeah,
revving it up, I see Tank winning some rounds, revving it up, start to go at Shakur a little bit more. But then after that, Shakur, after you downloaded some information, maybe, you know, stopping a little bit sometimes and, you know, you know, getting the inside, showing your defense. He judged that difference. Even though he stops, he'll hop back real quick, then come
yeah,
back in and stay there with you and just kind of show him like, hey, I'm not gonna run around all day either. Now, I'm doing it at the
yeah,
beginning just to fill you out, but I'm not gonna do it. But still, at times when you need to get on your bike and control it, and just keep and just keep trying to attack him to the body, keep that jab out there. And I think you
yeah,
can win that way. And for Tank, I just see Tank trying to walk him down, trying to get him on the ropes or trying to get him in the corner, some things like that, trying to slow him from moving around so much. Because
yeah,
Tank is not gonna want to have to chase you. I see Tank trying to rip to the body too, trying to slow him down, like trying to get him to stay still and everything, and trying to cut off the ring, which is to me is gonna be very
yeah,
difficult. That's one of the reasons why I think because Shakur is such a great boxer. It's so hard to corner him and cut him off and not leave an exit route. Tank is gonna have to try to find a way to stop him from exiting out of there. And like for Shakur, when he does gets in the corner, he does gets against the ropes. He has to make sure he doesn't exit the same way out every time. Has to make sure that he gives Tanks different looks of how he's getting off the ropes or getting out of the corner and even tying up. At times, tie him up. You're the bigger guy. Tie him up.
yeah,
Tie
yeah,
him up. You on the ropes. If you can't get off, tie him up. You find a way to get to him, tie him up, have the referee break you up, separate you. And Tank is, I feel like Tank is going to be a very aggressive just because he just doesn't think that Shakur can beat him. But you can use that against Tank and just, pick him apart.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, be sure to subscribe to the channel, join the channel, help us continue to build Fighters Rep. This is a channel where we don't just talk about boxing and combat sports, but we have a full-fledged kickboxing promotion built in, and you can get your tickets to Fighters Rep 25 in Los Angeles on September 7th and 26 in Pompano Beach, Florida on September 21st. You're not going to want to miss those fights. I'm going to be highlighting some of those fights in the coming shows and podcasts, so stay tuned for that. And follow me on Instagram at FightersRep or FightersRepFez. Follow Gary at Ignorant Behavior, man. We're really working hard on this, and we'd appreciate your support with a follow, with joining the channel. Gary, I love the way you break it down, man. I appreciate it. I think you're right about Shakur. The more I think about this and discuss this with you, right, new things kind of pop into my head. That's what happens on this show with me and you, man. A lot of times when I'm talking to you, I feel like I have epiphany after epiphany after epiphany, and we talk so damn much about this stuff. And one thing that just crept into my head, and I want to know what you think about this. I feel like Shakur does a great job of managing range, managing distance, right? And I feel like the way he does it, the way he avoids punches, is typically he steps back. Not in a reckless way. He's using his feet. It's not like using his head and leaning back, which is trouble because you can get clipped on the chin. But he steps back, which I think is a good way to avoid shot. My thing is, and this is me giving a plus to Tank, right? I do believe that Tank understands that. I think he's even talked about it. I think I've seen him talk about it.
Yeah, he did.
And Tank, the reason that may be something that Tank could use against Shakur, because you talked about Shakur using his confidence against him. The reason Tank could use this step back against Shakur is, Tank is very explosive, Gary. He covers distance very good. He's very explosive. He covers distance very good. And you're right about ripping to the body. I think that's a fantastic strategy because you could step back, right? You could step back, and maybe swinging for the head is difficult. But I think swinging for the body in that situation might be, what the doctor ordered for you to, put some water down there in the basement. You know what I mean? Like they say, put some water in the basement and slow this dude down. And that's what I'm thinking about because he's not defensive in that he's like slipping shots and it's a lot of lateral movement. It's mostly
he slips.
Manage. He can.
You're talking about Shakur. Yeah,
but it's mostly managing range, right? And if Tank can figure out the range, which if anyone can figure it out, Tank can, then I think he'll have success. And the reason I say if anyone can figure it out, Tank can, is because besides the fact that, again, I mentioned he's explosive, bro, he's always fighting taller guys. Mm-hmm. He almost always, Gary, this guy, the only person I remember being smaller than him is probably like Pitbull that was significantly smaller than him.
That's the only one. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the only one. Yeah, Pitbull.
So, he's really, Gary, so he's really primed, bro. Look, this is me trying to be diplomatic, using my attorney speak, trying to reach out there and maybe convince you that this is going to be a tougher fight than maybe we expect.
You don't have to convince me it's going to be a tough fight. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both of them. Both of them are really going to be in there. They're in there with the best of the best. I that's what I'm saying. I don't see how anybody can say, even Shakur fans, how can you say he's just going to dominate Tank? Tank fans, how you going to say he's going to, dominate.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody dominating this fight. I don't see that at
The
all.
the only way
I
somebody
don't see no
dominates in
dominance.
this fight, the only possible way, in my opinion, somebody dominates in this fight is somebody gets clipped. Somebody gets clipped and is unable to
All right, let's keep
recover.
it real.
That's the
Not
only way.
somebody. Let's keep it real. Not somebody. Shakur gets
Well, here's
clipped.
the thing, though, Gary. Gary,
We
here's
have
the
never
thing,
seen
though.
Shakur hit somebody in one shot and knock him out.
I know, but here's the thing, Gary. Here's the thing. If you are Tank Davis, right,
Yeah.
versus Shakur Stevenson, I just mentioned him closing the distance. If I'm Shakur and I step back and Tank Davis tries to read it and counter with maybe I think you mentioned like a gazelle punch last time, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, or like a Superman punch, like jumping in, throwing a hook, or jumping in and throwing a two or something. And Shakur is able to step back and counter and time it. Now you have a shot coming from Shakur. You have Tank closing the distance. So the impact, is amplified. It's almost like double the impact. So he could potentially that's the situation where I see, and maybe it's a shot he doesn't see coming, right? Which
Mhm.
is always a problem. And
Yeah.
Shakur is fast enough in the hands to be able to land something like that. So in the off chance that he could do that, land something while Tank's on the way in, it's a counter shot, it's something Tank didn't see. It's a possibility that he could clip Tank too. But I mean, obviously, I agree with you. If somebody's going to get clipped in this fight, it's going to be Shakur. Nine times out of 10, 10 times out of 11, it's going to
Hey
be
man,
Shakur,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you something. If we talking possibilities, I want to know what my possibility is with Meg Thee Stallion. What do I got a possibility with that or something? Maybe I run into her one day, and maybe
Oh
I
my
I I
God.
I have enough money to treat her right, and maybe
Oh my
something like
God.
that. I mean, I'm talking reality. I haven't seen Shakur do that against any high level fighter. Now, have I seen him catch people and drop them? That's possible, but
That's what
really,
I'm saying. Well, like,
but I'm
what if you
saying
were to
drop them,
buzz
but they
him?
get back up and they can fight.
What if you were to buzz him and just kind of stay on him and just, that's the only way
And then
I
my
could
thing
see
is,
it.
we seen Tank. He has a chin. It ain't like
Yeah,
he ain't got no chin. He has a chin. He's been in
yeah,
there with harder hitting people. He's been caught with shots. He has a chin, and I just don't see that happening at all. Now we call him the
yeah,
fight. I don't see that happening at all. Now
yeah,
I can see Tank eventually catching up to him and catching him and hurting him, even though he says he has a hell of a chin. We don't know because we never seen it tested. And my
yeah.
thing is always, if I'm a fighter, I don't want you to know if I got a chin. So I
Right,
get
right.
it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I
That's
can see that
between
happening.
me. That's between me and God. That chin, bro.
Only God gonna know if I got a chin. Uh, you know what I mean? Uh,
Ah.
I always find it funny when God say he can take a punch. That's what he wants to do. I want to give a punch. I don't want to take it.
Yeah, I never seen a punch I wanted to take unless it was a shot, a hunch punch. That's the only thing I want to
Yeah,
take.
exactly.
But
So I mean, like I said, but Tank, I I can see a scenario where Tank knocks out Shakur, but
yeah,
I'm favoring, and like I said, I can see both scenarios. I'm gonna lean a little bit towards the scenario of Shakur winning on points, doing just enough, a close fight. It may even be a split decision.
hmm
You know,
hmm I
so
can see that too. It's that. I mean, I can
yeah,
definitely see that in such a high stakes fight with two guys that are so good. I mean, because even if one guy is winning, I mean, you know how boxing is now with the
yeah.
judging, man. It's like nothing but craziness as far as the decisions go.
But let me tell you what Shakur is gonna have to be weary about. You can't just like be slow and be unentertaining and think the judges are gonna give it to you over Tank. Because if
We
Tank
saw
lands
that with
one,
we saw that with Oshaki, bro. We saw that with
yeah.
Oshaki.
If Tank lands like two big shots, they may just give him the round just because they feel like you haven't been landing significant enough shots, or
That's crazy.
or you're not, or you've been moving around a lot. with a fighter like Tank, as popular as Tank, and as exciting as Tank, you're going to have to put together a little bit more punches, be a little bit more open than you normally are, which I know it
Yeah.
sounds crazy because he's probably your most dangerous fighter, but you can lose on a
Yeah.
scorecard by not being more active.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. 100%. It's
Also to keep
man,
Tank
it's
off, you got to do a lot of feints too. You got to feint him. You got to make
uh,
him question what you're doing, guess what you're doing.
unless
So
he doesn't respect your power, then he's not going to give a shit about your feints. I mean, I clearly remember that Frank Martin fight. I think it was the fourth round, Gary. The fifth round before he got out the corner, he says he's got nothing on him or something like that. He's got
because
nothing
he
on him.
ran
Like
out of
his
steam,
yeah,
he tired of
he was so dedicated to running away from Tank and moving around so much. I think he burned all his energy to
yeah.
the point where he didn't have enough juice on the punches for Tank Davis to even feel it.
Because the first round, Tank said he got a little pop. We're gonna have to break him down. And that's what Tank was talking about. Wear him down. So those punches don't have that same kind of pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You
You
gotta
know,
love him, man. You gotta love him, man.
you know?
You gotta
I mean,
love that guy. He's got a little pop. We gotta break him down. I like that. I like
yeah. Yeah, you know
dude.
what I
Tank's the
mean?
man,
Like,
bro.
you know, you
Yeah,
you
I guess
you
I'm
and this
turning into a bit of a Tank fan, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
turn into a Tank fan. I've been a Tank fan. I've been a Shakur fan.
that's
I've been a Devin
that's
Haney
true.
fan.
That's
I've
true.
been a Devin Haney fan.
I like Tank better than all those guys, though, man. I like Tank better than all those guys.
Oh, you was a T.O. guy at first.
I used to like Tio, man, but then like he's kind of goofy, bro. Like when he talks and stuff, it's like a little bit. It's a cringe. It's a little cringe. You know, it's cringe, is what it is.
I just get shocked that nobody calls Tio out like they do all these other fighters. So Tio has not fought any of them, and I just
Yeah,
feel like you know nobody calls him out on it. Like
yeah.
you want to talk ducking? I mean, I haven't seen him step up to the plate and fight any of these real top level guys like that. I mean,
We and
Josh
we and
Taylor,
we.
but Josh Taylor, do we still think Josh Taylor got it like that?
Nah, bro. No,
Exactly.
Josh Taylor is unfortunate, man. Like ever since I think it was the Jose Ramirez fight, where
Hmm.
he had I think his last really good performance. He just hasn't been the same guy. I don't know what happened to him. For me, I think I told you, man. For me, at one point, that guy he was undisputed at 140. Gary, he was
Yeah.
undisputed. But I think that generation is just, I think it's just up. You know, that was the pro grade Taylor, Jose Ramirez generation. Taylor was the man there. I think that generation's time is up now. And now it's these new guys' turn, man.
Yeah.
It's Tank. It's Devin Haney, who me and you've been watching forever. It's been Shakur Stevenson, same. And I'm hoping we're gonna find out on Saturday too, Gary. We're gonna find out. I'm hoping Jared Anderson comes through. I'm
Yeah.
hoping Jared Anderson comes through because he's got a tough fight, Martin Bacoli. And I'm hoping he comes through because if he comes through, he's another one of those guys, that new generation. You know, I'm a little cautious about him, you know, because
His
his
focus.
last performance, I think, you know, we've heard some stuff about his dedication. You know, we've seen a bit of I think we saw a bit of a breakdown, I think, in a video with Roy Jones. You know, I don't know where he's at mentally. I'm sure it's a lot of pressure for him. He's a young man. I understand it 100%. But you know, this is a very mental sport, you know, and if you're not
Mentally
okay
tapped in.
here, you
Yeah.
know how it is. Any sport, man, you gotta be solid up here, bro.
I mean, T.O. It's just for me. I look at it like T.O. You still have Matisse up there. He lost, but he's still a good test for you.
Oh, and you
A
got
good fight.
Paro, bro. You got
Yeah, I'm saying
Paro.
you got, but I'm saying he could have fought Matisse before Paro, or now that you got Paro,
Yeah.
now you got Paro. You could even fight Pitbull, which will be a good test
Pitbull, you
for you.
know, you got Pitbull. And you know what? I'm getting more and more excited
He
about
didn't
this
even fight Rolly.
Pitbull. Bro, I'm getting more and more excited about this Pitbull Valenzuela fight. I'm getting more and more excited about it because Valenzuela is training with Virgil Ortiz, who I think is really good, bro. I think Virgil Ortiz is really good, and he's saying a lot of good things about Valenzuela. Like I've seen a couple YouTube videos. Valenzuela has his own his own little YouTube channel, whatever. And dude is working hard, man. I mean, dude is working real hard. He seems to believe in himself. I'm excited to see what he does against Pitbull, bro. If he goes in there and he smokes Pitbull and he makes a statement, which is possible, even though Pitbull's like a fucking fire hydrant. But if he makes a statement against Pitbull, bro, then you got another guy that you can get excited about in that division. You know what I mean? Like these guys need to fight
I
each
don't
other,
think
man.
anybody smokes Pitbull. I just don't see you smoking them. You probably can beat him for smoking them. Nah, I don't see you
You never
smoking them.
know, man. You never know, man. Shit
I get
happens,
you.
man.
I get you, but I don't see
Like
him smoking them.
I'll be honest. I thought Paro had a really good chance against Matias because I know Paro and I had actually like looked at him and I respect him. But I don't think a lot of people thought anybody would be able to beat Matias. You know, so sometimes you got to expect the unexpected. You know, I
Well,
just
I won't go that far that nobody can beat Matias. I didn't believe that.
well,
I
no, a
didn't
lot
think
of people
Paro
thought
was.
yeah,
I didn't
well, a
think
lot of
Paro
people
was, but I didn't think
Well,
nobody.
a lot of people were saying Matias is the boogeyman and nobody wants to fight.
Nah.
I didn't think that. Yeah, I didn't think that. But you know, that's what a lot of people thought. The thing is, with Poro, I had something to look back at, and I had the ability to do the eye test with him. You know what I mean? This guy looks good. This guy looks like he can box pretty good. I think he can beat Matias, is what I said. I remember I even messaged Coach Derek. I was like, I think this guy could beat Matias, bro. He's going to Puerto Rico. This guy's not fucking around. He's going straight to Puerto Rico to fight this guy in his backyard. I think he thinks he can win,
Yeah.
and I think he can win too. But what I meant to say was, you know, Valenzuela looked good in those last couple fights we saw, but I just feel like I still haven't seen enough of him. You know, he looked good. He didn't look. He didn't look like I'll dominate Pitbull Cruz good, but he looked good. But you never know, Gary. Sometimes guys improve between fights, right?
Hmm.
That's you know that's kind of the allure of the fight for me is has Valenzuela improved enough to where he might get a win here. He might surprise us, you know. I don't know. I would still probably go with Pitbull Cruz. But you know, I'm not counting this kid out, man. I'm hearing some real good stuff about him. I'm not counting him out at all.
Yeah, yeah. Supposed to be on a diet eating these damn chips. I'm hungry as hell.
What chips? I thought it was mangoes or something. I saw something yellow.
Honey barbecue.
Ooh.
I haven't ate yet, man. So
Yeah,
that's coming.
yeah.
After doing all that, but no, I mean, like I said, we'll see. I mean, right now, like with it's supposed to be Tank and Shakur, so that's the fight everybody wants to see. I really think that Tank wasn't expecting to make it happen this quick.
I
But
hope it
plans
happens.
plans fall through. I mean, if you think you can beat
Yeah.
Shakur, and you beat Shakur, is just gonna make him even a bigger star. And but now,
Oh my God.
if you lose, from what I'm understanding, it's gonna be a rematch clause in there. You go back for the second bag if you lose, and maybe you win. Maybe we get a
Yeah.
trilogy. Who knows? Maybe we get a
Yeah.
trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe that'd be great. I mean, I'm hoping it happens. Hoping for November. That'd be a great fight for Thanksgiving. We'll see if the boxing gods make it happen. I'm wondering. I'm assuming it would be like I don't know Al Heyman. I mean, who would be in charge of making that fight? You know.
Well, from what I
Well,
had seen when they were talking about it, and obviously they have been having talks about it, and it's kind of going back and forth. I haven't seen Shakur saying anything
Eddie
crazy, so
Hearn.
that lets me know. No, not with Eddie Hearn. I already heard that. Well, from what I was reading, that is not gonna. I think Eddie Hearn already said is not gonna be with Matchroom. that most likely is probably gonna be between, Bob Arum and PBC. Basically, who's gonna? I don't know if it's gonna be a one fight deal like some of these fighters are doing, or it's gonna
Yeah.
be like, or they're gonna sign for multiple fights. So, I mean, I think Shakur's trying to leave it open to see what's the best way. Because, like I said, I think Shakur really, really, really wants this fight bad, and I think and he knows that Tank is. It's up to Tank, man. Tank has everything in
Yeah.
control. He's telling everybody when you can get this payday. You want this
You
payday?
think you think Tank is gonna flex at the negotiating table, and that
Not necessarily like.
if he does so, that Shakur will be like no, or you think Shakur would be willing to, you know, agree to some of the terms that concede on some of the terms Tank puts forward to
Well,
make the fight happen? Because he's the B side, bro. He's not the A side.
oh no, Shakur already said a while ago, like it's up to Tank. He's the
Yeah.
guy. He understands that Tank is the guy. Tank is the A side. I'm not,
Yeah.
and I think he's willing to concede a lot. That's why I say I think he really wants to make this fight happen. I think he's willing to. Not he wants to get paid, but I'm thinking he's willing to concede more than people would think that he's willing to
Yeah.
concede. And I just think that you know, he's like. I think that Tank is up to Tank whether he wants to do it now or when he wants to do it. I think Tank wants to do it. I think Tank is trying to be strategic about when he's going to do it, and that's all.
Yeah.
I think. I think Loma is being strategic by backing out, saying, "Man, let me force these two guys to fight, and then I'll come and
Smart.
pick up after." You know.
Yeah. Smart.
So I,
Smart. I
I think
agree
it's
with
all
you. I like
strategy.
that. I like that. I like that strategy. So what's the prediction? Tank Shakur. You still got a decision, Shakur?
Yes, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything to change it. I think a
Yeah.
close fight, maybe a split decision, going Shakur's way. I don't see anybody dominating the fight. And like I told you, I don't think it's gonna be as exciting fight as people think.
Yeah. Damn, Gary, you're really putting it out there to be a stinker, bro. Thanks a lot,
Not a
Gary, for opening this
stinker,
whole thing up
just
for us.
like if you're a fan of boxing, it's gonna be high level boxing. I
You're
think it's
like
gonna
a
be.
you're like a you're like a bad girlfriend that fucks shit up when like everything's going well. You know that?
You know what you were like, George? You're like the girl out there who says, "I need a good man, good man." A good man comes around, but he's not flashy. He's not, he's not the guy with that's all this, and you shoot him off. He's too nerdy. That's what
Yeah.
you are. You want the fight that's toxic. You want the girl. You want the toxic chick. The girl that's gonna be. That's what type of fight you want. You want a toxic fight. That's what I'm saying. The sweet science is the nerdy guy who has a good job.
And
Uh,
drives and drives a Honda
on
Civic. He drives a Honda
401k.
Civic.
Yeah, yeah. He don't drive the. He's like Chad Johnson. He drives the electric car. His
Yeah,
little.
yeah,
He's not pulling up in the
yeah.
Ferrari. You
Oh
want the
man,
Ferrari
no.
guy. You want the Ferrari guy who has about five
Yeah,
holes on the side.
suicide doors, or some sort of McLaren or something, popping bottles on a Tuesday.
That you
That's
like
what
that
I
girl.
want.
You like that girl. Yeah, you like that girl. That's what. And
Oh my
you know.
God.
But what's
Well,
up with this Bud? We got Bud coming up, so we got to do a little Bud on there now too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, let me just say I agree with you that my prediction doesn't change. I'm still going with the crazy prediction the way you did with Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. I'm going for it, man. I know I'm a maniac. I'm
It ain't
falling over the
crazy.
edge, but hey, I'm going for a late stoppage with Tank. You know, the other big outcome I can see, or the most likely outcome I can see as well, is like a decision maybe for Shakur. But I'm going for the late stoppage for Tank, man. That's my boy. I can't go against him right now for whatever reason. He's surging too hard, man. That Frank Martin knockout, man. That shit was damn, bro. That shit was clean, dude.
Different fighter,
So
man. Different fighter.
yeah, I liked that though. That shit was fun. Bud Crawford Madrimal, man. I actually hit you up a little bit earlier today. And I watched the Face Off, Gary. I don't know if you saw the Face Off.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Face Off. I see nothing but mutual respect. Madrimov doesn't look too much bigger to me than Crawford. They look about the same size, but Madrimov is the natural 154 pounder. I'm not sure he has enough experience to get the job done against this Terrence Crawford, right? Because Madrimov, I think, only has like 10 fights. But I think this is going to be a tough fight, man. Madrimov's a tough guy. We know he's got a ton of amateur experience. The way they train in Uzbekistan, from my understanding, is they work very hard. They work with different styles. He's very versatile in the way that he fights, kind of like Terrence Crawford. Very athletic. He's a strong guy. And it was just so much mutual respect, Gary. There was so much mutual respect, and you can feel the tension between them. It's an athletic, competitive respect. I liked it very much. I'm fascinated by this fight. I still think Crawford gets the job done, but Madrimov is a dangerous, can potentially be a dangerous opponent, and I think he'll put up a good fight. I hope it'll be a good fight. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I hope it'll be a good fight. I imagine Madrimov's going to win some rounds in this fight, but I
Mm-hmm.
still got Crawford probably by decision.
Yeah. I mean, I like I told you on the phone, I didn't expect nothing less from Crawford. Crawford's not the guy that's gonna sit here and talk shit. Now, if you disrespect him,
Yeah,
that's what I like about him. He's no bullshit type of guy. He's like the dad you don't want.
yeah, yeah,
I feel bad for his kids because he's real no nonsense, and he ain't really
yeah,
trying to put on the show and sell this. That's what hurt him early in his career because he's not a talker. He's not like
yeah,
that, and this is funny. People are gonna probably say I'm always bringing Boots into it. This is something that they're similar like because I heard a lot of people like Boots is not a talker. He's whatever you see on his
yeah,
social media, he's not like that. And Boots is like I think dudes are doing too much talking. And Terrence Crawford is the same way. And
yeah,
Terrence Crawford is kind of like now if you say something to me, I'm gonna say something back, and I'm gonna try to hurt you. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, if you keep it respectful, I keep it respectful. We can go in here and do our thing, and may the best man win. But I think Midramov, he's gonna have to make the shots that he lands count. Like you're the bigger, stronger guy. Even though we all hear the stories about how strong Terrence Crawford is, but this guy is a little bit naturally bigger. Just from just naturally, he didn't come from all the way down at what Terrence Crawford started at
right,
one.
right.
He didn't come from all the way down there.
130,
Yeah, 130.
135,
I
some
think.
shit.
I think it was 130, but he didn't come from all the way down there. He's naturally this size, and he got some thump to him, and so
Yeah,
I don't think Terrence Crawford can't make as many mistakes. Like I heard your boy again. The Magic Man saying, "Hey, he can't take those shots that he took from Avanesian. He can't even take those shots he took from Errol Spence, even though he dominated Errol Spence. But he was like, Errol Spence not hitting that hard. This guy is a bigger guy, and this
yeah,
guy has power. So you're gonna have to be even more locked in and focused, and make sure you're sharp, you on your shit. And I see him,
yeah,
and he sparred with Andre Ward. I don't think it was no hard sparring. I think it probably
yeah,
was light sparring, just a mental, from the clips I seen, just to test your mental, your thoughts, your movement, being there with somebody
yeah,
who was the best doing it at a bigger weight. You know what I mean? And so seeing
yeah,
how it is to control that and everything, I don't think Andre Ward was in there trying to really hit him with hard shots, or he was trying to
yeah,
hit Andre Ward with hard shots, but just like, the iron sharpening iron, you know what I mean? Getting
yeah,
ready
yeah,
for it. So I can see I'm really just really ready to see because his power has translated every time he went up. I'm trying to see if he can, if it's going to translate, and this is going to tell me a lot about the Canelo fight.
You know,
Not
Gary, he's also 36, 37 years old. How
37,
old
I
Bud
think.
Crawford?
I think he's about
Bro,
37.
that's the other thing to keep an eye on, because Madrimav's still, I think he's a younger guy.
Yeah,
This is his division, man. I mean, that's why I'm saying this fight can get interesting. It can get interesting. I'm excited for it, man. It goes down
yeah.
on Saturday. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to watch this fight. That card is stacked. Man, that card is stacked. We're gonna have to go live immediately after that 'cause that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at this card. I'm like, well, I can't skip any of these fights. These are going to be
Woo!
some good fights.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, but that's what we.
Anyway,
Hey, when you pay your money, that's what you want.
yep. Hey, that's what you're gonna get. Fighters Rep 25 and 26 as well. So get your tickets, Gary. We're already at 13 fights. Card subject to change for the Florida show. We're at 18 fights for the California show. We're talking about the best strikers in South Florida, the best strikers in Southern California. Not going to want to miss it. Fightersrep.com. Knuckleheads, we've been on here almost an hour. Me and the Ignorant One. And I think we're toast, man. This sun toasted our behinds today, man. And we're out of juice.
We're out.
So we're going to link up with you guys in the next couple of days. Be sure to tune in Monday and Thursday. We do this live. And of course, in the post fight.
Remember
the post fight, yeah, for the big fight. So we'll see you guys Saturday night. Gary, anything else you want to tell these knuckleheads or what?
Just follow me on at Ignorant Behavior. It's more than boxing. There's some ignorant behavior going on.
Really,
you want some
it's
laughs?
really ignorant, guys. It's really ignorant.
You gonna know why the name is like that. Follow me. We gonna be here post fight talking, getting ready. So, hey, link up with us.
For sure. Appreciate you, Gary. Have a good one, brother.
Yeah, man. You too.
All right, guys.